Take two, action. Hi, guys. Welcome back. This is our second time recording today because we showed up earlier, technical difficulties for 20 minutes. The moment they were resolved, I got a migraine. And honestly, Ollie needed to go for a W. O-double-L-I-E. Sorry, shouldn't just slam his name around.
Okay, he's here.
He's being so good. We are back to Parallel Paths. Yay!
Welcome.
Podcast where two girls talk reflectively about life and then what the heck is going on moment. Okay. A podcast where two girls talk about life in a way that is reflective, maybe a little bit dark humor, honest, and vulnerable. For all of our people out there in the community that are also on a parallel path who love spirituality and value it, but don't take this shit too seriously, you know? Anyways, welcome back. We are your hosts. I'm Ashley and this is Kelsey. Today we're going to talk manifestation and some other side bits, of course, because we always have side quests.
Always. Hello, Ashley. Take two. We've been together a lot today for having accomplished nothing.
I know. But we've had a good time. We've had some good laughs.
Surrendering, honoring our bodies, being chill. It was a good reflection of me where I was actually punting our recording from yesterday to try to get rest, which actually didn't happen, lols. And then you needed some rest, and it's like, yeah, MR squared.
Someone who listened to our podcast messaged me. This is a little sneak peek of the proud moment. Should we get into what our listeners are proud of themselves for?
What our listeners are proud of. We each have a few to share.
So this girl messaged me and said, I'm proud of myself for, I wrote it verbatim, resting more intentionally and not judging myself for it. And then she sent another one and was like, the podcast reminded me it's okay to rest. And I said,
wow, that's our tribe. That's really our tribe.
Yeah. Ugh.
Sending love to that listener. Definitely more rest. R squared is really kind of like the peak of living from my perspective.
It's winter. Like, I'm not surprised it's coming up so much.
Yeah, actually that. Yeah. Any other submissions you want to share?
Yeah. Let me share all of them and then I'll hand it back. Okay. Someone said, for creating Christmas magic while being sick and a full-time parent and employee, which I think is so special.
That
like to say that is a high priority and a high value. I'm going to create Christmas magic. I'm going to find joy amidst the chaos. So cute. And then the third one was doing amazing on my work review. And I reached out to this person and said, I was just curious more about it. And I said, like, what surprised you the most about it? And he said, how much I needed it.
Oh, good job.
I know.
Everybody nailed it. I'm so proud. This is the best segment ever. I'm so happy. Okay.
I love it.
Acknowledging all of those we just heard. I'm so proud of you all. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a few to share.
Okay.
I didn't write them down. I'm more just by memory gal. One was that the response was that I exercised this week. Parentheses, that's pathetic. It was just once. Which is not pathetic. That's awesome. You moved your body. You did it. You're busy bee. You needed to rest too. So
in winter.
Correct. In the slumber season, if you will. One was, this was probably the most complex one. It was really cool. Was patience in all areas of my life. So big themes like career, relationship, just all that surrender and patience, knowing that the best is yet to come, and you can't, force outcomes. Although we could discuss that on the manifestation part of this episode, but that was a cool one. And then the third was also an exercise related one. It was upgrading to the reformer level of Pilates personal training. I know. It was like a mat Pilates to reformer situation, which is kind of cool.
Amazing.
I'm proud of them. Everyone, we're so proud.
We're so proud. Also, I feel like the messages you got very much overlap with you and mine very much overlap with me. And they all kind of overlap with the major themes of winter.
literally, thank you for our on message, on season responses team, but you know the 2/3 of them are exercise related came through my channels, you know?
Exactly. This is why it's truly parallel paths. We're not all walking the same one, but we're all just like in line, overlapping a little bit.
My friend was talking this morning about whatever you do to sort of chill out or mellow out or, decompress, where we were talking about a mutual friend of ours. It was like alcohol and cigarettes. And then he's like, "You generally do exercise for that." So, yeah, I think. I don't think I need it to mellow out or decompress, but I do need it to move energy through. So I would say yes. Love you.
That's like your love exercise. I love that. I remember you telling me about we were gonna like try and stay really focused today because we have a lot to cover, but I have to say this.
Sorry for being neurodivergent. Whatever.
Sorry. I remember you going on a date with someone and you asked him or he asked you like, "Oh, what are your not addictions, but things that you
Sure.
lean on, addictions for lack of a better term." And you were like, none really." And he said, "Meditation and love." And I'm like, "That's also literally you." And then there's me who's like, "I love drugs, alcohol, avoidance." And you who loves that.
My gosh, you know this because I texted you that because I was so amped. Long story short, that relationship didn't work out simply because of geography. But if your response to your addictions is meditation and love, maybe I should reconsider my geography because I want to marry you.
Did you ask him and he said that? Or did he ask you, you said working out? Or did I just
Yeah.
kind of link those two together?
No, that's right. We were just kind of so this guy and I are both pretty pure little souls. So we were both non-drinkers, both really earnest bunnies. And I was saying when people ask about addictions, I don't really, you know, I don't know exactly what to say because if you say coffee or something, which people be like, "How many a day?" And I'm like, "1, I just really need it." I don't know. I feel like I'm addicted if I get a headache if I don't have it. So I
Uh,
haven't had a great answer for whatever reason that just comes up as like small talk addictions. So I think I brought that up and said, I don't know
Small talk
exactly,
for
but
neurodivergence. What are
yeah.
your addictions?
I know, and honestly, in my circles, it's like painting too much when I
Yeah.
should be journaling. It's nothing interesting. You have the best answer, that's why I'm very charmed by that, but anyway, so it came up because I was saying how that is a random question, but I would say I do need a coffee or else I get a headache, so that to me qualifies, and then I really feel unwell if I'm not exercising regularly, and
Mm.
then I said, "What about you?" And that's when he said, "Um" I guess meditation and love.
He
Kinda like
was so genuine, and that's what's so cute about it. He's like, "Man, I really am addicted to that." Come
yeah,
on.
like
Earnest Bunny is a perfect way to put it.
and then I texted you that just glowing. I was so gagged after that date. I could hardly sleep. So sad it didn't work out, but my future husband is gonna say some earnest dorky stuff.
Mhm.
That's what really lands for me, so,
Mhm.
okay,
Amazing.
that was fun. So today we also wanna talk about our questions. We wanna
Yes.
talk about our spiritual things, material people don't find us charming. And manifestation, where do you wanna meander to next? And an update on your scorpion
Oh,
garage.
man. I'm gonna just, like, hit it for Fergie real quick
Yeah. Yeah,
because
yeah.
I really I really thought about this last week when you said, "Yeah, reflect on it this week." The next day, I was like, "Okay, how is this stagnation at my mouth," right? Because remember the garage was the mouth of
Mhm.
G.
If you don't know what she's talking about, listen to last week's episode and come back. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. How is this stagnation showing up? Well, I was like, let me lean into my edges here. Like, where am I not speaking what needs to be spoken? And
Mhm.
I had a couple people, 2 people in a day ask to do trade for breath work, which if I could, that's all I wanna do. I used to do breath work solely donation based, but
Mhm.
now this is my full-time career, so to give it more energy, I have to give it time, I have to pay the bills with.
Mhm. Mhm.
So these conversations I really, like, sat with, "Okay, how will this work?" And normally I would either cave, say, "Sure," Or I would just say, "No, sorry, here's my da da da," and be very uber logical. And so I
Mhm.
sat with it and I got 2 very, "Here's what you actually want" messages come in or up, I don't know. And I had 2 not hard conversations, but hard for me of
Mhm.
like, "Here's what will actually work. No, because, and this, and" kind of conversations, and they both went really well.
Good job.
I know.
Yeah.
So, I was really proud. Then I looked up a few days later the baby rattlesnake symbolism, and I went deep. I was like, it was in the northwest corner of the garage. It was in a trap. It was a baby, right? Like, da da da. And
Oh.
another, I know, it was kind of sad. Honestly, chat was sad for the snake. Okay, so the baby rattlesnake is like they can't control their venom, right? That's their thing. And so it was talking about how this like new energy or empowerment, it's just learning how to refine it rather than trap it. And that's what
Mm.
it said. It was like this snake wasn't redirected out. It wasn't met with any confrontation. It just got trapped. And like, where are you just trapping or suppressing right here? And it spoke to the garage as what is it word the word? Like portal between internal and external, which I
Right, right,
like
right.
so much more. I also love the mouth and I needed that to move into the next day. Everything's so on purpose.
Totally.
But as a garage, like it's not fully inside or fully outside.
Right.
It's that right in between. So there's my update. I've been reflecting on it honestly a lot and got a lot from it from those conversations, chat GPT, your take immediately. It's been gold.
Thank you to your animal guides just to suffer for your metaphor.
I thought that. I literally, thank you, baby snake. I'm
I
sorry you
know.
died.
It's okay, it's okay, there's enough snakes. Sending it love in its transition. Wait, that's really poignant, though. I'm proud of you to take those messages and act on them. That's kinda hard to do so quickly, to discern what the message is and then
Mm,
act in alignment with something that maybe isn't your first impulse. That's really cool. Good job.
thank
It's
you. Thank you so much.
basically
Has anything else come up with the owls?
no.
Okay.
Dang. I've been so busy. You know what? I
It'll
need an owl to come to my window and coo at me tonight. I deserve it.
mm,
I'll set that intention.
yeah, manifesting that.
Mm,
We're getting there.
love it.
Should we hit I wanna ask you some questions. I wanna hit that next.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yay,
Are you
yay.
ready?
Yes, so just a reminder for everyone, we're doing this for the rest of the year because we said that last time.
Ashley
Impromptu.
committed us to no, just kidding. I love it. I sent you these questions, so
Amazing. Ooh. So I decided today I was just gonna look at the questions, and the first one that stood out, I'm gonna ask. Did you suffer illness or injury?
did I suffer illness or injury? Yes, quickly. And actually, so maybe we'll wrap up our proud of moments where you just said something you're sort of proud of with you're speaking up to the clients. What I'm proud of is actually trying to work on figuring out what's wrong with my health. I baby sprained slash tore my pec, which I tore a long time ago. But if you don't fully tear a pec, you don't get surgery, like, you only, like, sew it together, I think, if it's, like, fully torn. So I just
Yeah.
kinda walked around like this, like, holding my arm for a while and didn't work out really crazy and then just started working out again. This was a long time ago, but I re-sprained it or baby tore. Definitely didn't fully tear, but it was a long summer of my arm hardly moving. But also I'm
Well,
really chill. I was doing burpees with one hand and just doing stuff.
that is
Whatever.
so on brand.
So that was that. I actually didn't resolve that. That's not
One
what I'm
arm
proud
of
of.
burpees.
But I have been my immune system's just not working totally amazingly, and the summer, I took some time away from crazy town corporate America, but then I just spent the entire time sick. My body was like, "Yeah, let's rest. Let's work through some of this stuff." And even before that, I had this sty that I had to get to surgery because my immune system will not get rid of those. And while I was sick, I just was not getting better. It was kind of phenomenal. I would say for
Mhm.
about 4 straight months, I was feeling kind of mono-ish and just every day was not getting better.
Did you say 4 straight weeks or months?
Months, the whole summer, I felt horrible. Actually, a friend of mine last night mentioned something about this blood work I'm getting. She's like, "Well, you would know if you had some serious issues." I was like, "Oh, I forgot to mention that I've been deathly ill all year."
You said, there's potentially signs.
From the bottom of my heart, I've been almost incapacitated for like 12 months. No, so I got some blood work, and some of the blood work came back with some antibodies weird, and instead of just being like, "Well, that's fine." I went back for subsequent blood work Friday, so my illness was just generally ambiguous autoimmune things and a sort of torn pec that I ignored until recently, and now I'm proud.
And now I'm proud.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Now you're going in and looking at all this stuff even while you're in this, like, I don't wanna say high stress, but high
No,
demand job at least.
oh, high stress is fair. I'm an unbooked and busy girl. Whew.
Booked and
Yeah.
busy.
I also bought one of those blood work outside of insurance things that does a bajillion blood markers. So if you're a medical marvel, by the way, one of the responses to the first blood work was like, "This is real." It didn't say you're a medical marvel, but kind of that. Like this just doesn't make any sense. And I was like, yeah. Every time I go to a doctor, they just are like shrug emoji and then send me off, and it's very frustrating. You're an alien. I don't know. So
Thanks for succumbing to the
I went above and beyond, and now when I get all my other blood markers, what if it's some random little thing and I could resolve it? So yeah, that was it. But generally, yes, I've been sickly.
Yeah.
Okay, ready for
That's
your
so
question?
wild. I'm ready for my question.
Yeah, because I'm bored about being sick. Just I'm gonna report
I
back
don't
when I'm
wanna
well.
I had a whole thing, but
You can share it.
I just shook that it came back wild because usually they go, "You're fine." And it's normally like you're within this normal range. And
Mhm.
this would be optimal, but you're out in one of these ranges. And so they say
Mhm.
you're fine and you have to dig even deeper. But the fact that you were out here so much that a doctor was like, it's not good, but I don't know what to tell you.
Well, a lot of my blood work was perfect, though. That's what the word she used. It was like really tightly in the range. So most everything
Oh.
looks really good. It's just these crazy antibodies. So, but I
Mm.
was like, the antibodies parading through my bloodstream, indicating a potential autoimmune issue while I've
Autoimmune.
been sick all year, is giving needs more info, babes.
Yeah.
I actually got her to do more blood work. And then I also, just not trusting her on the side, impatiently bought my own.
You might
And
as well get
listen,
two.
sure,
Yeah.
I love a bit when they're gonna take my blood where I put my tattoo out, and I'm like, "See? Just so you know I'm not scared of needles." I just wait for a laugh.
I'm
Alright,
cool.
I'm fine with this. It's
Totally
fun.
me.
So, yeah, love my girlies at LabCorp. Okay, question for you that I picked out. You can pass if this is too random, but I think it's interesting. The question is, whose behavior merited celebration?
Kyle.
I
I'm
kn
always gonna celebrate
I knew
Kyle.
you were gonna say Kyle. Well, he's so fucking amazing.
He's
Elaborate.
okay. We've talked about this before, like how the transformation that he and I have been going through this year. And I think this was on the podcast where I said, like, I requested a proposal and then I started panicking, right?
Mhm,
We've
mhm.
talked about that here. The way he shown up to bat anytime I am working through something or like this feels really big to me and I don't know what it means and I don't know, but I need this. He just is so open and not like, okay, but what about how you do this? Like he's just like, okay, no, I don't get it, but I'm willing to discover what that means. And yes, I'll do coaching and yes, we can go to couples therapy and yes, I'll do therapy. Does the most. And like his mom got an Alzheimer's diagnosis.
Mhm.
He's an only child, so he's traveling there weekly. He's
Wow.
got laid off in the summer
Mhm.
and just rather than just being a lump on a log, like he went hard on like, okay, what do I really want to be doing then? How do I get into this? How do I show up? How many can I apply for? Like he just is so good and so willing to show up despite the fact that his inherent nature is very much lazy boy.
Mm.
He's a
Ooh,
lazy
a
boy
real
at heart.
wrester.
He's
A
a
real
he's a real
rester.
rester. He's a real rester. So
Wow.
I want to celebrate him every day.
Wow. So
And I
the
could name
behavior
75 other people, but
For sure. That's no, but it's cool to celebrate, like, your life partner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially just showing up for you tremendously amongst extreme stress.
Yeah. Yep.
Those are some of the most stressful things that can happen to a person.
Right?
He's would you say the behavior is open-mindedness, support for you, adaptability? Just so I can really, like, celebrate it.
What comes up is, like, it's just who he is. It's his spirit. He doesn't allow the beliefs or experiences or past whatevers to dampen his spirit. He's gonna
Mhm.
let his soul listen, and he's going to move from that space.
Are you writing vows right now? This is
It might
cool.
be.
I'm gonna cry. Wow. I'm really inspired. I'm always open to meeting my love partner, and I'm really inspired and happy to hear the love story you guys have because you're not just saying it's perfect every single day is exactly bliss and we lay in bed and giggle. Even
Yeah.
though it's a really beautiful, healthy relationship, it's cool to see an example of something so supportive and beautiful and complex and expansive for you. It's a good expander for me. So
Oh,
thank you for sharing. And thank you, Kyle.
thank you for saying that. Shout out Kyle.
Shout out Kyle.
Now I'll know if he listens.
He listens. I just feel it in my heart.
He listens.
Give
Okay, guys, we just had to cut out like 4 minutes because we got the giggles, we did some winking stuff. But we're gonna intro the next segment, which is things we do that annoy our material friends that
Yep.
are rooted from a place of spirituality.
Correct. Correct. Want me to start?
Leading with last week when you said, "I know I'm just the clown at your party though, like, I know you love it."
Correct. Like again, the messages I have to pull through for people that think everything's done. Okay, ready for my list?
Yes.
'Kay. Uh, Generally thinking every animal/number slash number pattern, etcetera, is a sign from my guides and angels, which LOL, because we were talking about the snakes so long. Every driver's license too. I'm like, "Oh my god, my angels." Um, this one's me, no drinking, no drugs, no cheat days, no fun really for me. That material people don't live. Um, this one's annoying of me, but seeing ugliness underneath most TV and movies and not really being able to watch it, people don't get that. They're like talking about TVs constantly, and I'm seeing the vibe and the ugliness in Hollywood. Um,
Ooh.
this is one we talked about a lot this weekend, so we need a whole separate pod on this one. But feeling fairly neutral about people, even if they're sort of annoying or bad or acting differently than I would.
Mhm.
Again, not if they're being mean to my friends, I don't say, "Well, they're just a soul expanding our consciousness." No, not that, but if they're not harming me or my friend, you can't catch me being too irritated about them. And then my
Mm.
last one, not really giving sustained responses when people are in self-victim mode and have no desire to work on it. So if someone's in self-victim mode, but they're kind of aware and they're working through it, I got all of the time in the world. If they just want to complain and they have no desire to work on it, I don't really care.
Might be out. Yeah, like
Yeah.
you not that you'll shut it down, but just kinda like,
Yeah, that's what I phrase as not so much energy to it, where I have empathy, but I know that you sort of like this perpetuating this pattern, and I'm not gonna give my energy to that then.
right, right. I feel like that was something I had to learn
For sure.
yeah, early on in my adult life of like, some people are playing out their drama, let them do it.
Mhm.
It's not my job to be a savior. And yet when people are crumbling, they're probably gonna come to me.
Oh, that's why I think about it because it's almost insane how anytime someone's sad, they call me or we have to connect, da, 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 da. So I have to be really discerning on do they want
Mm,
support or do they want on a subconscious level to perpetuate this? And what I say is just going to be a waste of my time. But
yeah.
that's not the most fun for a material person that's like, "Aren't you the healer? Nice
Yeah.
person."
Come on, give me something. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Spiritual boundaries. That's tough. That's
Gotta
tough for
learn
people.
them.
Yeah, gotta learn
Stuff
them.
for
Yeah.
people, us.
For people.
For sure myself and my friend I'm talking to right now. Your
LOL.
turn.
Okay. I wrote short snippets. I didn't think about this one a ton because I know there's a lot. I think how much I bring up astrology or human design or just like, oh, that totally makes sense for your line 5 or oh yeah, this or that. Oh, you're this rising sign? Totally. And they're just like, dude, can I just have a unique experience?
I feel that. I feel that for me.
These next 3 are really very me, and I see these ones a lot. When I ask people their feelings and not their thoughts. Like if I go,
Mm.
okay, sure, but what are you feeling? Generally, they're just like, dude, we're at dinner.
Everyone's like, bro.
Come on, let's just let me be mad. It goes into that. Just let me like have a bitch, which is funny because I'll do the same thing. I'm like, oh, I don't want to fix it. I just want to yell about it.
Yeah.
But I'm probably gonna say, how are you feeling? Um, deep questions at dinner. I think also people love that, but it can be like, there's a lot of people here. Like, I just don't understand social boundaries. I'm like, whether there's
Mm.
2 people or 10 people here, let's get deep.
Yeah. The
Let's
alternative is
get,
just talking about nothing. Why would you want to do that? But I digress.
yeah. And then my psychoanalyzing. And that ties into the other two. It's just, I naturally just want to skip any kind of pleasantry and be like, it kind of seems like you're a little sad. Should we go into that?
You're like, have you ever closed your eyes, taken a picture, and then looked at the emotion on your face?
Yeah. We could do it right now if you want to.
Here's a board of emotional words picked from the circle.
Yeah. Do you want to do some eye gazing? We can do some eye gazing and just see what comes up and then have a long hug.
That's a good bit. I wish we could always do that.
Yeah.
You know
Uh,
what? We're not annoying because I'd rather hang out with us than talk about nothing at dinner and
yeah.
not eye gaze or talk about feelings.
Yeah. Why aren't we eye gazing?
I want my future husband to wanna eye gaze a lot.
I still get uncomfy doing it.
It's horrible for a second, then so cool.
Mm.
It's
I did
horrible.
it the other day. Horrible.
With strangers, it's crazy.
I feel like I have had way more crazy experiences doing it with strangers than with intimate friends and lovers.
That's what I mean. When you're just rolling up to a yoga thing or a breathwork thing, you just get paired with whatever guy or gal or they, and you're just like, "I'm crying. I've transcended my own reality right now.
Yeah.
You're literally the most beautiful human. I'm scared, I'm embarrassed, I'm inspired, I'm in love." Like, it's
Yes.
nuts.
Yes. I think it's this level of non-stories. I have
Mhm.
no experience with you or minimal, and I get to fully see you and like experience your life and soul in this energetic way through our eyeballs. I'm sobbing. I'm getting emotional right now talking about it.
Cut 3, she's crying.
Truly.
Love it. I
All
think
right.
that's cute. Let's move on to manifestation.
Let's hit manifestation.
So I surfaced manifestation as a potential topic this week because I have a lot of dissonance around manifestation, especially as it is conveyed in this quote unquote spiritual community. But I don't
Mm,
want to start. I want to hear your perspective on it and then I'll layer in my hot takes. How do you think of manifestation? How do you feel about it? Tell me all the things.
I'm so excited for this topic. And as I was thinking about this today, I had this feeling that it's probably going to be more like not choppy, but thought,
Yeah, yeah,
response.
yeah.
Usually it's one of us goes long form, the other goes long form, because this topic has so many avenues and
I
streams.
know.
And so I'm excited to hear what your dissonance is around. But I will start to honor your request. And I'll just share my most recent experience with manifestation.
Cool.
And
Cool.
also, like, I have some dissonance too, and I'm curious if our what we don't agree with about it overlaps. So I'm doing this program called TBM, to be magnetic, and it's basically neural manifestation. So it has everything to do with subconscious work to build up your self-worth. And her premise is that everything we attract has to do with our self-worth. And this is where I veer off into like yes and kind of feel that way about all manifestation. Like Yes, and we have soul contracts to where there's some things that some people are going to struggle more with or have more lessons in them, where it's not just one subconscious programming to move
Mhm.
through this thing to manifest love or money or whatever.
Mhm.
And so I think about that when I first learned about manifestation, it's think positive, feel how you would feel if you have the thing, visualize it. And that is so like using the 5% of your conscious mind. When
Mhm.
95% of it is unconscious driving the show, that
Mhm.
positive feeling is so like not really what's going to make a difference. And yet, the premise is that like if you can really feel it, you'll call it in, and it kind of ties into that self-worth thing. So I'm kinda dancing around all these topics because I just wanna give a short, like, take on it to see what your thoughts are first, and then we'll see what vein we go into, because I definitely have some thoughts on, like, shadow work and stuff too.
Interesting. The good news is we're really I guess it's not necessarily good, we could be totally misaligned, but that's a lot of where I was going with it. So, I think of manifestation as you align your energy and belief system to what you're quote unquote manifesting or calling in, right?
Mm, mhm,
So it's sort of easy. You hear a lot about I'll manifest a parking spot in front of the grocery store and green lights, whatever.
mhm,
We energetically and our belief systems can pretty easily get to I believe that there's a potential for available parking spots and I'm worth getting a good parking spot. That
right.
just is very
Like
not a big leap from our current energy and beliefs. I was just telling a friend this yesterday. It's harder for you and I to manifest being the Queen of England, right? Our beliefs and energy and worth, I think I'm worth being the Queen of England. I have beliefs that I'd have to marry in the family, get access to those circles, all
have
these
to actually want to.
yeah, like I'm not going to most likely manifest becoming the Queen of England because there's so many things that I'm not aligned with energetically in belief, which belief is just energy to me as well, right? So on a quantum level, I'm not really aligned with the Queen of England. I'm very aligned with that I might find a parking spot right in the front of the grocery store on a busy day.
Right.
So, okay, great. And then, like you said, the manifesting technique is generally to feel how you would feel if you had blah thing. Okay.
Mhm,
But what you said on our soul contracts is my rub. It's very challenging. This is fundamental manifestation, a conversation on our belief in manifestation is a conversation on fate versus free will, right? If I what
what's
I
that
believe,
overlap?
it's really interesting. I actually teased this out because I have manifested things. I manifested a house with high ceilings and a
Mm,
separate space to meditate and all new feminine looking lights, fixtures, and furniture and da 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 da. And it's interesting because I did the classic manifestation thing and called it in and found it. It's really interesting. But other things, I don't think we can manifest things that impede with other people, right? So
right.
you can't manifest,
For
you
someone
know,
else.
handsome dude at your gym being your husband, like he's married, whatever.
Yeah,
Okay, we
no
get
one of a
that.
kinds. Like someone who has big biceps and dark hair is different than John from the gym.
Correct, correct. But then I thought about it further about the themes that we come in to learn because that's my belief system is we have a soul contract with our guides, with our higher self, where we're going to expand the consciousness of God or source or our higher self by learning lessons. Or maybe we're working through karma so say in a previous life, I was a very evil queen, which is kind of cool, but I was exploiting a bunch of people and taking their resources. Maybe I would come in with a contract that I would be sort of in service for really wealthy people and I would never have access to that wealth. Now, what if I'm trying to manifest the feeling of being wealthy? I think I could get to a place of feeling wealthy without XYZ dollars in my bank account. So I think I could manifest that. For me, this is just so close to home. I've spent years feeling the feeling of being safe in a relationship and having a partner to support me and being waking up with them and fighting with them and amending our relationship and negotiating and compromising and adoring them and celebrating them and da 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 da. Didn't happen. I don't think my divine timing and my soul contract was going to line up that I would just call in this great partner. So I wasn't trying to manifest XYZ specific partner, but any partner I simply could not manifest. Well, I don't like to say maybe I could have. I didn't, and I really, really tried for not just for a month, for
Mhm,
years, did
mhm.
the
Ah,
manifestation techniques and was like, if my guides and angels and
you're like
ancestors and
a
higher self and
visualizer.
God, yeah, if they want me to chill for a little bit and come into my adult self and my magical self and my purpose-driven self before that, I I couldn't call it in, but I could call in the feeling of feeling supported and love and compromising and working on relationships,
Mhm.
so that's where I'm like, maybe it does work because you can manifest themes, but you there's some things you just can't manifest. Is
I
that kind
like
of what you're saying?
manifesting themes, but not like these. Yeah, like there's this level of we're getting into fate and free will, and
We're there.
both they're both yeah, we're there. They're both so pungent and real. And there's also this level of like confirmation bias, what you believe you will create. And so
Mhm.
if we believe that we have this soul contract, then we're going to live in alignment with what we
Mhm.
see as reflecting a soul contract.
Yeah.
And I have this is kind of a fun sidebar thing. I have this mentor who says like I don't care what it is you believe. If it's working for you, amazing. If it's
Yeah.
not, then don't use it. And he was talking about like astrology or having an ADHD or autism
I
diagnosis,
agree with that.
right? And so it's very interesting. Like, at what point can you go, well, then I'm going to work on letting go of this belief just for sake of conversation, this belief that I'm down here to fulfill soul contracts. I wonder if we were to get rid of that belief and we change the way we view life entirely, if the
Mhm.
manifestation that's on the other side of that block would come through, or if it's just like, no, this is the way it is, and for sake of conversation, life contracts are real. You cannot just bypass that.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And
Never thought.
you share it.
I really don't have a lot of validity. A lot of the things I say, I've read about, I've heard channeled, I've talked a lot about. This one, I don't know, but I think we can manifest anything in parallel realities. So I think
Mhm.
you or I could truly wake up, if we believed it, truly wake up as Queen of England after a nap in an hour, be in a different dimension for sure. I think you could
Yeah.
truly manifest anything. That's where I get fuzzy on what I even believe. It's like,
Right?
this is
Same.
my consciousness that I'm tapped into in this moment on this podcast. It's very far for me to believe that I could actually integrate on a quantum level the belief that I could be Queen of England in an hour. So it's interesting, but I do think, yeah, I think you could actually manifest anything. You just have
So what
to,
about something that is a sidestep, like finding a loving relationship, right? Because that's not as far logically as being the Queen of England, but there's so much around that experience for you in the
yeah.
past 15 years of your life that maybe it's just as much.
Yeah, I would say when I was younger, I thought I could manifest it. I didn't think I had a soul contract that was delaying it at all.
Mhm.
No, I really didn't. I'm it's almost like that is a coping tool for me, is something that is incredibly important to me. It just doesn't happen no matter what I do. Well, let me not
What
speak
is
that
the
in
coping
reverse. It
tool?
had thinking that it's a soul contract that I wanted to learn
Right,
things,
right, right.
because when I was younger, I really thought I could spend a few years envisioning my partner and being in that space and that it
Well,
would
it's kind of
come.
devastating that it didn't work
Oh, I know. Well,
because it
that's
was
why
working for other things, and then you're just like,
that's why I wanted to be vulnerable and have this conversation, because it's one of the bigger things that showed me there's more to manifestation than, because I'm not saying I spent a month
Mhm.
on that.
Years.
I really probably spent years. I even to this day, every time I do my chakra clearing every morning, I get to my throat chakra and do a bunch of mantras around my partner and calling them in and all these nice things. And that's available to me. That's many years, many, 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 many years of mantras around that. So it's interesting when we think about or when we talked about manifestation as a topic, I wanted to share that because it's interesting to me. And I'm not sure if you can manifest everything, but I could get into the mindset that you can. And separately, I had my own limiting beliefs around my worth or whatever, that I
Mm,
had the right way to extricate those subconscious limiting beliefs, and things would have changed. And I'm not beholden to a soul contract for some divine timing later. I really don't think God or higher selves worry about timing to like the year because
right.
time is just made up. So I wonder, yeah, that's where it gets gnarly. Like, did I need to
So
learn certain
gnarly.
things? Did I need to extricate certain beliefs that just are I'm still working through? But I wouldn't say that I didn't believe that I had a soul contract that I wouldn't meet a partner at the time, but I certainly didn't have the worth and subconscious quantum patterning to call in a partner. That I'm sure of. So I think if I could subconsciously have recharacterized my belief system 15 years ago, I could have called in my partner for
What
sure.
is subconscious quantum patterning?
Just like limiting beliefs, just subconscious beliefs. Like
Oh,
my subconscious, because I don't know exactly what it is, right? I don't know that it's necessarily one belief. I'm not worth a partner. It's probably many things that I've internalized, hence using quantum. But either way,
so
we could
wait,
do a truistic.
why do you say 15 years ago?
Well, just because 'cause I'm 36, when I was, like, young 20s, I was like, "Alright, I'm gonna meet my partner and, it'll be amazing." I didn't want a phase of a friend I was at dinner with last night said, "I wasted so much time in my 20s, I was just partying and I was just gorgeous running around." When I was even in my teens, but really, I've always just wanted a partner and to chill. I stopped
Mhm.
drinking in my young 20s and just wanted to sit and cuddle and talk.
Yeah.
So it's not been something out of my focus or my true desires of my heart in the last
Right. You didn't
15
ignore
years.
it. Yeah.
I didn't want to party and run around and not settle down. I would have definitely gotten married at like 23 if I had met the right person, which
Right.
I would have called in the wrong person. So I love you, ancestors, guys, angels, God, higher self, everybody nailed it, not doing it. And I also was talking about that yesterday with my friends. Goodness, I would have chosen and called in someone totally not right for the person I am now. I've evolved. Even though my personality and beliefs are fairly consistent, I just have grown up. So I would have called in the wrong person. So it's all good, but yeah, it's a really challenging thing for me to think that you can spend a couple years in the feeling of blank and
Not
get
the
it when I have
made
a very
itself very
strong
clear too.
I just have such a strong personal bias, but I could also very much admit that I have a strong personal bias against manifesting because I unsuccessfully did it.
Yeah.
What do you
So
think?
I have some thoughts. I'm what's coming up as you're sharing too is like this idea of time not being real, yet we have these soul contracts. So you and I believe.
Allegedly.
Astrology points us to that like timing and transits, and I'm sure if you looked at your chart you could find some time frame that it would happen, right? So then it gets into the fate versus free will and truth versus everything's made up around every single topic, namely manifestation and astrology and soul contracts. Like everything is just this divine game.
Mhm.
Now we're getting existential as hell.
As HE double hockey sticks.
But I know I've just been listening to him and hitting the swear words so I don't have to filter myself. So no need to filter yourself. I'll beep it out. There's this woman, I have two more thoughts. There's this woman on Instagram. Her name's Lizzie Tilia. I feel like I've told you about her before.
Liz.
Liz girl. And she says, if I'm trying to manifest E, the letter E, and I'm starting at A, the whole journey of manifestation is not A to B to C to D to E. And even though that in itself is such a cool experience because B is different from A and C is different from B. And so you are learning, but the way that we're wired and the way that we are meant to move through this life and the way our guides want us to move through this life is they put that desire in our heart for E because they knew it would send us on this quest that we would uncover A to 7 to J to E14,
Giraffe to
A to
L.
G
Yeah.
over to, and we're going to find these things that are so meant for us or that are meant for what we're meant to express in the world and what we're meant to love and really call in along this journey. And then we get to choose, and this is where that fate versus free will comes in. Like, do we still want E or did we actually want G?
Mm.
But with something so cut and dry like love or money, it's like, no, I still want E. I promise I still want E.
But that theory holds a lot though for love or money. Actually, let me tell you a thing about money after, but for love, that you're on a journey to call in the love you want, right? Nothing has prevented me yet from calling in the love I want. I've only
Mhm.
gotten much, much, much closer. So that theory holds very much for
Yeah.
my scenario, where
Mhm.
every lesson and bit of gentleness and earnesty I've unveiled over the years, because I've only gotten more earnest and gentle, has is driving me to this beautiful partnership. Question about money though, before your second thought. So say back to the example where you have a karmic mitigation strategy, whereas that person that's like an evil oligarch and exploited people and they're doing a
Mhm.
karmic life, or they're working through their karma in an incarnation to exactly not have that and experience the opposite perspective on a soul level. In that way, could you
I need you to
manifest
expound
money?
on that. I need you to expound on that. So
If
there's
okay,
someone who's just meant to be experiencing this life of like, they're evil, they're here to play that role, then what are you saying?
I'm saying if in a previous life they experienced the I'm an evil oligarch or
I'm this
monarch or whatever, and they exploited people to get a bunch of resources. So if
okay.
they decide, and now again, we have to believe in contracts, but assuming that there are some sort of contracts, if or karma, you can come into to work on karma in an incarnation, assuming that's true, and you're coming in saying on a soul level, I want to experience the opposite of that. So I want to be the person whose
Mhm.
resources were exploited by someone in more power so I
Mm,
can round out this experience of this resource allocation from the alternate viewpoint. So say the person's incarnate to karmically not just manifest a bunch of resources. We basically earlier said that they could manifest a feeling of abundance with what they have.
yeah.
Is that it? Like, you can't manifest financial abundance if you're karmically working through not having financial abundance,
Right.
right?
Right. Yeah, I think you would have to, this is just my belief. I think you would have to stray from what's aligned for you to do that. That's just my thoughts. I don't even know that I firmly believe that. But I also, this kind of pulls me into my other thought. I'm reading this book right now called Existential Kink, which I've sent you a little blurb on. And for the listeners, this is basically a book on deep shadow work and like really accepting your dirty, nasty. Like you feel depressed, it's because some part of you wants to. You are like,
Mm.
it goes really hard, and I would not recommend this book to just anybody. It's intense. It talks about, she's like, I was in an abusive relationship, and it's because I would have felt bored outside of it.
Mm.
And some part of me really wanted to experience that, like being told what to do and being abused and being restrained, because then I didn't have to choose my own stuff. That is
Mm.
really hard and heavy. And like,
Mm.
I would never want to prescribe that for or to someone. And yet she says, like, okay, so once I fully accepted this and was like, I'm in this, she said, suddenly it got less interesting and we just
Mm.
kind of diffused. So I'm going to leave that at that without expounding too much, knowing that that's kind of a lot. But also, you could say that that was part of her agreement, was to come and learn the opposite of both, not just one.
Mhm.
But I also don't think that you necessarily have to say, I'm coming to experience lack of money, to find abundance without it. And then you have to do that for your whole life. We can fly through lessons and
Yeah,
experience
right.
that, those extreme opposites.
Yeah, that's true. You could just sort of work through the karma, really get it, and then manifest a different version. Yeah, it was just more I think that maybe my limitation on manifestation is just some concept of timing, which is totally irrelevant to manifestation since time is made up, in my opinion,
Yeah,
allegedly. Right?
allegedly.
Because that would actually sate most of the things where the concept of this financial thing is you maybe work through karma, really experience it in your bones, in your soul, and then enter a new phase at another time. Okay.
like some great level of acceptance. And I keep thinking about this too. One of the content pillars I teach is the Seven Laws, a book written by Dean, who is also the one that said, I don't care what it is that you believe, if it's not working for you, then we're going to figure out how to move through it.
I so agree with that.
I love it. He was talking about like it's dawning on me. Oh, I'm autistic, so eye contact is hard for me. Like I can't do eye contact. Okay, are you okay with that or do you want to be able to hold eye contact because you don't
Right.
just have to surrender to anything?
That's why I think psychiatric labels harm people sometimes.
Yeah,
And they're like, I have blank, and then they just play that out. But I can't, I'm not a
perpetually.
psychiatrist, so I'm gonna just shut up. But I think some things are helpful, like you said. So if it's helpful, it's good. If it's not, think about it.
Yeah. Right, like, "Oh, that helps explain why it's hard for me, cool. But if you wanna be good at it, well then, okay, so what now what? How do I move through that?" So he wrote this book called The Seven Laws, and the 7 laws are the equal and opposite let's see, there's working and non-working sides of all 7 of these laws, and he
Okay.
states, like, essentially, every law is always in effect, whether it's serving you or not. It's just like, are you choosing the law? I'm saying in air quotes. So there's accountability, there's intention and attraction, there's action and order, and then there is surrender and acceptance. And what's come up a lot as we've been talking about this is like intention, attraction, and surrender. So
Mhm.
having an intention of like, I'm pointing my energy this way, I'm headed there. But then we also have our belief system that is the attraction of like, I'm sorry, I'm picking on you. It's been 15 years and, I maybe I could have done this when I was 20, but now there's like, it's been so long and the dating pool at 38 logically really is just different. There's a lot of divorced crazies.
I'm good for a divorce man as long as he's ready to commit, but
Yeah. But that like what's going on out here is showing something different and how intention and attraction play together and then also how surrender comes in like okay when like is this meant for my life is this meant to be a
Mhm.
part of my soul
Do
contract
I want that? Yeah, like you said.
yeah do I agree with yeah am I going to let it be that what can I learn from this like what is needed of me in order to get this but then it also can get really into that like and this is where it comes back full circle, like self-worth and we're
Mhm.
whole as we are. So there's nothing to become or do to be worthy of that.
Right.
But then
Mm,
like, why isn't it here?
I like what you
So
said though.
complex.
There's nothing, I mean, we need our basic needs met, but there's nothing you really need in the near term, right? So surrender is really a compelling sort of answer to all of it is if you'd like to manifest something, maybe the thing that bothers me about manifestation is so much quote unquote pop manifestation online that tells
Mhm.
you everyone else can manifest because they love themselves enough. So if you can't, and I'm not even just talking about me and dating at all, because that's just a tiny part of my life. Like, but all these people are out there seeing, well, all the shiny social media quote unquote manifestation,
Right.
thinking, yikes, maybe I don't love myself as much as I
Yeah. Do
thought.
I not have self-worth?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's what rubs me the wrong way a little bit is some pop manifestation currently in the spiritual community sort of makes people feel like they messed up if they weren't able to
Right.
manifest in the way that everyone else can, quote
You have
unquote, when
more
it's
work
really
to
not like
do.
that. Yeah, so maybe because I really do think you can energetically call on whatever you want and jump timelines. I really think that. And I even think within your current whatever, if we're assuming that you kind of stay consciously on a certain timeline or we're most consciously aligned with like a smaller range of ourselves, that you could manifest big cool stuff. I really do think that, but yeah, maybe timing is challenging or maybe our expectations just need to go down.
Yeah. And that's so hard because that fate versus free will is so like interwoven into also our higher selves and our soul contract of that
Mhm.
version of me, which is so expansive, wants to see me struggle through this and feel pain and feel lonely and feel lack of money or whatever it is for a reason that we just like
Yeah,
can't understand. But that doesn't mean we give up. Like surrender's not this like just
correct.
crumbling, but
Like, I'm
it's
not gonna work because I'll just manifest money, like, whatever.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's that true balance of, okay, I'm going to surrender to that, like, maybe the time isn't now, but I'm gonna continue to work like I'm right on the verge of it and know that I'm enough right now, but also that there's some fun uncovering for me as I go from A to D to F7 to on my way to E or
Yeah,
whatever.
and on double L's, I'm gonna have a ball. It's gonna be so cool.
Double L, where you at?
What's up, double L? Shout out double L.
Shout out Double L, we're ready to experience it.
We're so over time. For another time,
So
the thing that sticks out as the big question mark from this conversation continues to be astrology, because you're born and you have this chart that there are indicators of delay, right?
mhm. Mhm.
So, but then again, we could just say you manifest whatever you're manifesting if you could truly align energetically to it. And in that conscious awareness timeline, your astrology chart looks different. I don't know.
Right.
Never
What
know.
you're seeing would show up differently.
What I believe is there's other timelines. So, because
Yeah.
the thing that is really interesting is that astrology, fate, free will thing, contract, divine timing, that's all the rub. I'm gonna drop it, but that is the rub for me. So I'm not sold that we solved it, but I feel actually more solid in how I feel about manifestation from this conversation.
Oh, I love that. I feel so existential and whole. I need because I know people listening to this had so many thoughts because we hit 17 topics around one
Mhm.
central point. So please comment what stood out to you the most or what rubbed you the most wrong or what rubbed you the most right.
I don't acknowledge that.
Not acknowledging that. But yeah, I'm sure we're gonna get into astrology on the pod soon, but
For sure.
do you have any final thoughts? Final
Not at
boss?
all. I really wanna hear comments though, because we
Yeah, yeah,
open a
yeah.
lot of questions. So please message, comment, share with your friends that are gonna be the most likely to comment. Email, DM, whatever.
Yes. If you enjoyed this podcast, give it a review, share it with a friend. You can tell him to start listening at 30 minutes if you just wanna talk to him about the manifestation, but we know you're
Mhm.
here for the games.
Duh, duh. And join us next week.
Bye, everybody.